So we're going to pick up where we left off from last week. If you missed it, we will be sending out the full presentation to everyone at Meadowtowne when we wrap up this 3-part series. Those of you who were here last week should already have a copy. And if you need it in the interim, you can certainly reach out to any of us and we'll get that over to you. But there is some useful information in there as well about structuring content. And last week we introduced our AI avatar who we've been playing with. This is Alex. She came with the name. It's completely coincidental. And you'll see her throughout the presentations where we've done some screen recordings to guide you through some of the things that we're talking about and that you may want to refer back to later. So Alex is going to give us a quick intro.
Welcome to Content Creation Kickoff, crafting compelling digital narratives. This session will dive into the art of crafting compelling content tailored specifically for real estate agents. Learn the differences between curated, shared, and original content, and discover how ChatGPT can help generate unique content in minutes. We'll also cover audience building techniques and tips for keeping your followers engaged. We will cover 4 parts in this session: curated versus shared versus original content, ChatGPT, generating custom content and follow-up content, building an audience, and engagement.
So for today, we're going to look at sharing curated content and creating custom original content. So curated in a broader sense really means anything that you've planned, and whether or not that's your own content or that's planning how you're going to present yourself on different platforms. Curation really covers all of that. For our purposes today, we're going to refer to curated as shared content, something you didn't have to make. You've got it somewhere else. We'll look at repurposing content. So how do we take a piece that we've put something into and capitalize on it so that it reaches the most people and we get the most use from that work that we've put in. We'll do an introduction to ChatGPT and Canva. These are 2 really great, really popular, very easily accessible tools that will help you a lot and reduce your workload a lot when you're creating original content. Planning. So we looked at scheduling last week. The step before that is really planning out your content. Whether you look at that over a week, a month, perhaps it's seasonally. We've got some planning resources for you here. And we'll talk a little bit about building and engaging audiences. So why do we do this? George asked a really great question last week. Which was, why do the social? Is it going to sell my listings? So the short answer to that is yes, it absolutely can. The longer answer to that, though, is a lot of why we use social media is actually to build social credibility. So what we know about consumers in any market these days is that they will look you up online before they do business with you. So when they can get out there and they can see that you're on LinkedIn, you're associated with a professional network, you've got a reputable brand behind you, you're putting out informative information, you sound like someone who knows your stuff, you're showcasing the properties and the clients that you're working with. This gives them a really good sense of who you are. So a lot of using the social media can really be about promoting you as an agent. Within that, you can absolutely promote your listings, and yes, they can lead to sales, but it really depends on your strategies and your goals for how you're using this. So developing content plans and making content, coming up with content, this can be really intimidating. And I would like to take away that intimidation factor. So I want to give you guys some examples here of curated content versus original content. So some of the benefits that you guys have as Meadowtowne agents are that we put out a lot of social content. We put out some great stuff. It is all there for you to reuse, to share. So when you see things coming out like our featured listings every week, the home of the week comes out, the open house stories. Okay, these are listings that are published by the brokerage that you can put out to continue promoting yourself as an agent and promoting that you're part of Meadowtowne. Okay. Some original or custom versions of these would be things like your listing related posts. So coming soon, just listed, just sold, an open house post versus a story. So we do the stories, but if you wanted to have an additional post that is branded just for you, these are all things that the marketing department at Meadowtowne will actually help you with. So
Talia, on that point, you're saying, so home of the week,
Yeah.
If I like it, I send the request, and you guys send that to go on social media right away, or no?
We're actually going to talk a little bit later about how exactly to share these things.
Okay.
So if you look at the open house story in particular, that's a story that goes on Instagram, so they're relevant for 24 hours. If one of your open houses is in there, we'll tag you. Instagram will send you a message and say, hey, Meadowtowne tagged you. Do you want to add this to your story? You say yes, and now this will show up on yours as well. If it's a post you haven't been tagged in, or just a regular post that Meadowtowne's put out and you want to grab it on Instagram, there is, and I'll show you in a little while, there's a little arrow. You click that arrow and you can share the story. Instagram will not let you actually share a post as a post on your account. What it will do, though, is let you add it to your story so that it runs for 24 hours, which is great because it increases your visibility on the platform for having A, used a story, B, put up some new content. Answer your question? Same with LinkedIn and Facebook. It's a little easier to share on there. There's the share button, and you can press that, leave a little comment with it to give some context, and voila, there's your content for the day. We've done the work for you. And with these, so one of the things that the marketing team at Meadowtowne does that's a little unique about us is we support your individual brands. So with things like listing-related tiles, we will usually create a set of these for you. We've got a template. When you've got a new listing, you can email us those details. We can also share those templates with you in Canva, which we're going to talk about in a little while. So if you want to have a copy of that work so that you can edit it on the fly, by all means. Or if you've created something and you're like, guys, I like my tile, send it to us. We are more than happy to work with it. So other types of content that are great to post to show that you're knowledgeable in the space. Market trends, updates, the stats that we put out every month. So this top row is curated. This is content that you would find on Meadowtowne's social accounts. And again, you can share those things. The bottom half are similar pieces of content that are customized. So some of these, the two posts on the left and right actually came from the RLP network. It's another great resources that you guys and we have access to. So if you go into the marketing section in the RLP network, they actually have a ton of marketing resources. They've got social tiles. You can grab them, you can brand them. You can send them to us and ask us to brand them for you, and we'll put those out. The one in the middle here is our monthly stats information that we send out to each of you. So definitely make sure that you're posting these and post them everywhere. These are some examples of social content and holiday posts. So I'm sure most of you know we do a set of holiday posts for any major days. You'll see an email come out from the marketing team, and we also post these in WHAM, our We Are Meadowtowne Facebook group. So you can grab, so I know for Mother's Day, we put out a few earlier this week, and you can go in there and either save one of those images and post away, or you can get in touch with us and let us know that, hey, I like this one with the pink heart, but can you customize it for me and throw my logo on? We'll do that for you. You've got something to post on the holiday. Notice with these that we've got the agent's branding. We also have Meadowtowne's branding. Okay, so that's a point we're going to come back to in a little bit. But what you will get from the marketing department is materials that are in keeping with your brand and also in keeping with any guidelines that you guys need to adhere to when you're doing marketing materials. One other thought on this too. Meadowtowne has a really awesome culture. And we all have a lot of fun here, and that shines through in our social media. So sharing some of these things really speaks to the culture of a workplace that you're a part of, and it does give some people some insight into who you are as a professional and what your working life looks like. So these are great things to share. So there is a fairly extensive list here. I will not take you through all of it, but we will share this with you later. So if you're looking for ideas, there are a lot of different pieces of content here. Some have references to where you can get them. Others are suggestions for things you may want to make yourself. This gets a little advanced. We start getting into blog articles, things like this. So, pick and choose what's going to work for you from here. And this is not an exhaustive list. This is something you could certainly pull the pieces that interest you from, and then continue to build on it and work that into your social planning. Okay, what not to post. When we get a little further along, we're going to talk about planning and how sort of the identity or the persona that you want to present on each platform. So in doing that, it is very important to consider your brand's values and messaging. So, you know, here we've got a little bit of a self-deprecating, not too self-deprecating comment about, you know, being self-employed is tough because I'm my boss and I'm kind of tough. This is funny, and it also humanizes, right? These sorts of things can make you approachable. You know, photo day, getting ready for an open house, get rid of laundry mountain. That's funny. Most people can relate to that. When we get into these last two, for every sleeping realtor, there's a client disturbing her to ask questions. This may well be true, but if part of your brand's messaging and part of your values are that we care about our clients and we offer an exceptional level of service, this is not the message you want to put out to them. This contradicts that. Funny or not, that is not the type of content I would put out if that is part of your, you know, part of your brand values are we take care of our clients.
Sorry.
That's okay, you can laugh. They're there to laugh. They're funny.
I'm not going to pose that.
Yeah. Same with this one down here, Will Smith. This is funny. Trying to show clients homes that are actually in their budget, and there's nothing. We don't want to promote to buyers that they can't afford anything in the market, right? So again, while it's humorous, this is something you can text to one of your realtor friends, but they shouldn't go online. So going back to some of the content samples, Rico's got some updated guidelines for social media. We're not going to go into all of them here. A lot of them are contextual. It's not very long. You should have a read through them. Make sure you're up to date. And there's a link to the guide here. One of the key takeaways from it, though, is that they do ask that you identify the brokerage you're affiliated with in all of your pieces. So it is important to list your affiliation with Meadowtowne, whether you do that in writing or you do it by using a logo graphic somewhere on your post. Okay. I do not want anyone to be intimidated by this. So this is a common question I get, how often should I post? And if you Google this, you will get a wide range of different answers. There is no consensus and there is no hard and fast rule. The truth of this is that you post as much as you can that fits within your schedule, and you post what resonates with the people that you're speaking to online. So these are some general guidelines. I don't fully agree with the LinkedIn one. I think I may change that. That did come out of the statistics we pulled. But LinkedIn is a platform where, you know, I would say 3 times a week is plenty. YouTube once. Facebook and Instagram are things you really should update every day. In order to stay relevant in their algorithms, you need to be consistently putting out content. So as soon as you've created an account, we talked about this last week, don't walk away from that account, put out a post. Even if it's shared content, doesn't matter. Start getting something out every day. It doesn't need to be time consuming. This can be 5 minutes, but you should be putting something out. And with Instagram and Facebook, that can be a post, a reel, a story. It can be shared. It can be something we created for you in the marketing department. It doesn't need to be complicated, but something should go out every day. Twitter's another platform where if you have the capacity, it's a good one to keep updated every day. The real value in Twitter lies in search results. So this is a heavily weighted site. And when people are searching for the types of content, types of listings, an agent in the area that you work in, having those posts on Twitter will help you show up in the search results. YouTube once a week is plenty. And YouTube has a new feature with shorts. So these are quick 60-second videos that are very much like reels on Instagram. And it makes it much easier to get content on YouTube these days. You don't have to post these longer videos.
Are the posts and the stories the same ones on Instagram?
Do you mean like you're making a post and you're sharing it to the stories?
Yeah.
So it absolutely can be. And when we get a little further along and we talk about repurposing, we'll look at some of the ways to do that. So it really depends on the volume of content you have and how you're sharing it. So what types of content? These are, again, they're general statistics on each platform and the type of post that works best on that platform, what levels of engagement it's likely to get. So do you need to include an image, a video? Can you just post a link? Carousels, by the term carousel, this term has evolved a little bit. It used to mean something a little different. Instagram specifically will let you upload up to 10 images at a time, and then you can scroll through one at a time. They consider that a carousel. And so you'll notice with Twitter, it is good to use graphics, put an image or a video in periodically, but you can also, if you've put a video content on YouTube, you can take that link, post it right into Twitter. That's going to do well. You can also tweet things out with just text. Like, this does not need to be very involved. It's really meant to be quick. And then these are the types of content to post. Again, general guideline, just to give you a bit of a framework to work within. You will find what works for you. But today, where we started off last week, sort of going over the basics and the setup, we wanted to make sure that today would give some structure for and a framework for some of our newer users and some of our more advanced established users who are already active in social media. So some of these benchmarks might be things you want to work toward, but when you start this, start small. One post, one story, share something. I don't want the takeaway today to be, oh my God, I have to put up 20 tweets this week and 10 stories and 5 posts. That is not the intention here. Was anyone thinking that? So what you can do is, you take these as a bit of a structure and you work this into your schedule and see how things go. The best information you're going to get on what to post, when to post, and how to post it is over time from the people that you're communicating with online. Hashtags. These are something else we get asked about a lot. The purpose of hashtags is to group together similar types of content. So these are really popular on Instagram and Twitter. You can use them on Facebook. They don't have as much impact on Facebook, but they certainly don't hurt if you have them there. So how many is the next question we get. For Twitter, short answer, 1 to 2. You don't want to get excessive with your hashtags on Twitter. Instagram will take up to 30, but when you get to 30, it can get glitchy, especially if you're scheduling posts, and sometimes they'll fail, or they'll actually take your post down because it thinks you've exceeded. So my rule of thumb is 20 to 29. A good way to manage hashtags is to have that set of them that you regularly use, and we're going to show you a planning tool a little later on for where you can sort of store these. So, locations are really important, the areas that you work in. You might want to list the types of properties that you tend to work with or that you aspire to obtain. Anything that's going to relate to you on an ongoing basis. And then you want to look at what's applicable to this particular type of content and what's trending. So we'll also have a look at how to find what's trending. Today is National Tech Day, I believe. So being here is a great thing. This gives you some social content. Grab a photo before you leave, head to Twitter or Instagram, hashtag, celebrating National Tech Day with a workshop on social media at Meadowtowne. There's your content. Share it across all of your platforms. You're good to go, and you've popped something in there that's going to give it visibility with that hashtag. ChatGPT, which we're also going to have a look at. This is a great tool for helping you decide on some hashtags. So if you've written some content and you drop it into ChatGPT and you say, hey, can you suggest some hashtags for my Insta post? It'll give you a long list of them and you'll have something to choose from. So where do we find these? On Twitter, there is a trending button. It will show you a full list of what's popular that day, what's ranking well and getting a lot of attention. For Instagram, it's a little more convoluted, but it's still easy to get there. You're going into the search at the top. Search for whatever it is. It could be real estate, it could be Mississauga events, whatever it is that you're looking for. Once you click that search, so I searched for real estate, the result came up, I clicked real estate, and now it's showing me all these tags because I've clicked on tags. Okay, so there's 4 button clicks to get there, but this gives me a list of everything that's currently trending in real estate. This was a carryover from last week, so if you've already seen it, I apologize. It makes an important point, though, about the tone, the persona that we're going to present on each platform, and sort of how to shape our content. Right? So Twitter's a real-time thing. I'm eating donuts. Facebook, a little more general and personal information. I like donuts. Instagram is a visual platform, so you're going to show off a nice picture of your donut. YouTube, video-based, so here's you eating your donut. LinkedIn, my skills include donut eating. Pinterest, you'd share a recipe. And with TikTok, you would probably dance with the donut. Okay? So this gives you an idea of what types of content, sort of the tone you want to take with each platform. So some of the reasons to use YouTube, there is a massive user base here. This is the most heavily weighted website that exists. So putting content in here, using the descriptions, using the titles, putting tags in. We talked about this last week. We're going to look at it a little bit more with ChatGPT. But essentially all those SEO features, which are for search engine optimization, those are going to help you. And this really helps if you've got a website or you've got other content on the web. This will really help to boost the visibility of those things. It will also help people find you when they're looking for a realtor in your area. We've got some timelines here. There is a cheat sheet that we'll get to at the end that will give you guys all of the timing for these different types of posts and sort of what the maximums are. But the YouTube Shorts, I love these. These are getting so much visibility right now because they're a new thing. So just by virtue of it being a new feature on YouTube, they're getting an awful lot of promotion, 60 seconds. They're actually the same dimensions as Instagram Reels and Stories. So you can make a short for YouTube and then you can grab it and reuse it on Instagram. Facebook is a good one for posting longer content. A unique feature here is that it will allow you to create entire photo albums. So if you're at an event or you've got a property and there's a bunch you want to showcase, that's a great way to use it. Sharing is easy. People know how to use this platform. It's got the location check-in, which can be really helpful. So if you're out at an open house for one of your listings, maybe you're popping into a new restaurant in a neighborhood that you're promoting. You could do a check-in here, and then it associates you with the location. This one takes post stories and reels. The reels aren't as popular on Facebook, but they seem to be getting there. Instagram, so we talked about trending hashtags. This is a more casual platform. So this is where you can really kind of present yourself in the moment. So taking a selfie or a quick video here and putting out a post and use that hashtag National Tech Day, that would be great content to throw into your stories here. Good one for showcasing properties, anything to do with homes, design, staging, renovations, anything like that. Anything that's eye-catching is a good thing to put here. This is also a good one for promoting content on other platforms, so things like blog posts or YouTube videos. The stories are only 15 seconds, so they're short and sweet. And you can use those as teasers to get people to come back to your other content. Twitter, so again, this is a popular one for current news. Short posts work just fine, include your 1 to 2 hashtags. You can put videos here that go, I think, up to 220 seconds. You've got about 3 minutes there. This is one where, because it's short and sweet, you do want to post as often as you can. If you can get 1 out a day, great. If you can do 3, even better. Engagement we're going to get to, but really what's most important here is that where we tend to be focused on what we're presenting, right? I need to come up with a content plan. I need to put out good information. It's also really important to remember to engage with the other people there. So, you know, if you were having an in-person interaction, chances are you wouldn't throw a bunch of information at somebody and leave, right? You'd have a conversation, you'd see, you know, what information they're going to share with you, you'd ask some questions, there'd be some back and forth. So do this here as well. And that will go a long way towards building relationships and getting people to engage in what you're putting out and come and follow you as well. LinkedIn. So again, you know, some of the statistics we pulled in terms of how often you should post here, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think 3 times a week is plenty for LinkedIn. And that, again, that can be a lot of shared content. This one is somewhere where you want to present your polished and professional self. You want to showcase your knowledge within the industry. If you work in a niche or a specialty field, this is a great place to highlight that. It now has profile videos. It'll give you 30 seconds to sort of introduce yourself and let people know why they would choose you as their realtor. That's a really helpful piece. Business development platform. So a lot of industry news here and a lot of connecting with other professionals in the industry, which again lends social credibility when someone's looking you up. So content creation. Quick question. How many of you have heard of ChatGPT? How many have used ChatGPT? Okay, all right. Those are pretty good numbers. So we've got a couple of tools here that are super easy to use. They're really, really cheap. They actually have free options as well. And these go a long way towards helping you generate ideas and generate your content. So we're going to have a quick look. This is a phenomenal tool to help generate content and ideas. This reduces so much of the workload in prepping your social posts. It's a conversational chatbot, which is, it's conversational AI, which is a fancy word for sophisticated chatbot. You can ask this thing anything. And it will give you back a lot of usable information, right? So what we were showing here was, we said, hey, ChatGPT, can you write us a blog that's between 500 and 600 words? Here's my topic. Make sure it's SEO ready. Use Canadian grammar, right? So we just gave it a bit of information, and then it spits us back entirely usable content. You can take that a step further and say, hey, ChatGPT, can you write me some social posts to promote my blog and include the hashtags? It has literally done all of the work for you. The caveat to this is that this is an amalgamation of information from other places on the web, and it is a very new tool. So while it is awesome and is a huge time-saving help, the caveat is that this still requires human intervention. I would never recommend copying and pasting content directly out of ChatGPT and publishing that information. Take that generated text, spend 10 minutes. Proofread it, edit it a little bit, give it your voice, and you can run with it from there. Otherwise, you do run the risk of, copyright infringement, plagiarism. Note about Google. Google will actually penalize you for using duplicated content. So it is really important not to just do a direct copy and paste here, but this will give you a wonderful framework to work with. And you can keep this 70–80% the same. Just go through, put some of your own wording in, give it your own spin, and you're good to go with your text content. This will also help with other content that you've written. So you can ask it to check your grammar. You can ask it to change the tone of a communication. Those emails that you're like, hey, does this sound friendly enough? I'm not too sure about this one. Copy and paste it into ChatGPT, ask it to make it funnier, more professional, more conversational. It will give you back something in that tone. And the cool thing about this is the more you use it, the more information you take from and put into it, the more intuitive it becomes. So ChatGPT now knows I expect everything using Canadian grammar. I don't need to tell it anymore. It gets a little creepy. It's starting to sound like me a little bit. So very cool, very useful. The caveats are, check your facts, make sure you do the editing. This thing has been found to make stuff up periodically. And because it's pulling together information from other sources, some of it could be wrong. So if you've asked it for a post on an area that you know, there's a good chance that in skimming that post, if there's any inaccuracies, you're going to catch them. If there's anything in question, though, before you put your name behind that, I would go find a reputable source to verify the information, okay?
To log into ChatGPT, ensure you are logged into your Gmail account. Sign up with your Google account. It may ask you some additional information, such as your birthday, name, and phone number. Fill them out and use your cell number. A code will be sent to your number to verify your identity. Enter the code sent to your phone. Follow the next prompts until you get to the ChatGPT screen. Across the top, there are different versions. Be sure to toggle the current version. To start with this session, in the field that says Send a Message, you can prompt ChatGPT by typing in specific prompts you need for the blog or post you are trying to create. In this instance, we will prompt it to write a 600-word blog post about Halton Hills, Ontario using Canadian grammar and make it SEO ready. Talk about why this is a good area to buy a home, local attractions and events, schools, etc. Hit Enter. The AI will begin formulating the response. Once generated, you can add additional parameters or revise the response by prompting it with other information. We'll ask the AI to revise it to include more information on outdoor activities. Once the blog post has been revised, we will now prompt the AI to create social posts. We will ask for the following. Can you write some social posts to promote the blog article on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and can you include hashtags? Press Enter. Next, we will prompt the AI to write a title and description and provide tags for a video post on YouTube. Once this is complete, we will ask it to revise the YouTube information to focus more on search engine optimization. Now that we have all of the information provided, we want to take the revised blog and copy it back into ChatGPT and ask it to make the text more conversational and to shorten it up a bit. Scroll up to the revised blog above and copy it. Now, enter it into the text field at the bottom and prompt the AI to make it more conversational and shorten it up a bit. Next, open up a new chat. You can do this by clicking on New Chat located at the top left-hand side. Prompt ChatGPT to write an engaging real estate listing for a 4-bedroom family home in Meadowtowne, Ontario with 2 bathrooms and a new kitchen that is close to schools, parks, and shopping. You can now prompt the AI to shorten the description. Now you have all the materials you need to post content to your multiple platforms.
Make sure you do the editing. This thing has been found to make stuff up periodically, and because it's pulling together information from other sources, some of it could be wrong. So if you've asked it for a post on an area that you know, there's a good chance that in skimming that post, if there's any inaccuracies, you're going to catch them. If there's anything in question, though, before you put your name behind that, I would go find a reputable source to verify the information, okay? Also, ChatGPT, one of the problems that conversational AI are having right now is that we don't have the computing power in the world to process all of the information that exists online. So it taps out at 2021. If you wanted to find out what days are trending today, you could ask it and give it this date, but it will also tell you, I only know that up to 2021. So if it's changed since then, I'm not sure. That would be a go to Google question. Okay? But this thing is phenomenal. It can help you rewrite listing descriptions with very, very, very little information. If you're planning your content for the month and you're not too sure what to write about, go to ChatGPT. Hey, have you got, I'm a real estate agent. I work in Mississauga. I focus on condos. I need a 500 to 600 word blog. Can you help me? Give me some ideas. And it will give you some topics to work with. And then you pop one back in, have it generate the content, keep going from there and get it to generate your social posts as well. This also works for marketing emails. So it's a really, really great way to save a lot of time and a lot of brain power. Canva is the other tool that we're going to have a look at. I wasn't actually planning on playing this one because it's a longer video. And a note about some of the newer tech tools, particularly the AI, they're in use in high volume. So when you're planning is important. Sometimes your video gets held up at 99% for 24 hours because their servers are overloaded and you can't get it. So this will be made available to you when we send out this presentation. But this is something that happens in ChatGPT as well. I actually recently upgraded to the paid version because you get kicked out less often. But people around the world are using these tools. So they're great resources. Whenever you're working with tech, that planning step is critical because you need to expect the glitches. You need to expect the unexpected delays. They happen. It's part of life. They're usually pretty reliable, but especially with a lot of this new stuff, everybody's in there. So give them some time. Canva. How many of you have used Canva? Okay, good. That's a good number. So this is a really simple, easy tool for making professional graphics, even videos, even if you have no background whatsoever in graphic design. So I think the paid version of this is like under 20 bucks a month, and it will give you access to thousands of templates. So you can get inspiration, ideas, designs that are already made. They've got the pre-formatted sizing. So if you come in here and you type in the search, real estate Instagram posts, it's going to give you back hundreds of pieces of content. You can choose to use those pieces as they are. You can brand them. So one of the things that you will see in this video when it's available is how to create a brand kit. So this is where you store your logos, your fonts, your color schemes. Everything is right there on the screen when you're working with it. Grab a template, throw your branding in, done. You've got your original post created. And this works for a lot more than social posts. There are so many features in here. It's a really fun tool. Creating video posts in here is as easy as creating graphics. Saving, you can save it a million different ways. You can make a PDF, you can make a PowerPoint presentation. You can use it for all of your social. You can use this for pretty much everything these days. I'm actually using it right now for this presentation. And it has a neat feature where the clicker is on your phone. The other this has templates that are already sized for you. It also has built-in sizing options. So if we come in and we say, hey, I want to make a new post for Instagram, it's going to open it up for you. It's going to be sized properly. Okay, so that's a huge time saver. The other thing this is great for is collaboration. So I mentioned earlier things like creating templates or having the marketing team create them for you. And then we can share those documents with you. So we can work together on them. We can go back and forth. If you have a question, someone wants to change something, we can literally in real time get into Canva and work together. It's pretty awesome.
In Canva, you can create a brand kit by selecting Brand Hub on the left-hand side of the screen. You can add a new brand kit by clicking on Add New in the top right-hand corner of the screen. Here you can name your brand kit. In this case, we will name it Alex AI, then select Create. Next, add your logo by clicking on the bar that says Add Your Logo. Scroll down and add your profile picture to Photos. Scroll back up and add your branding colors to Colors. By clicking on Add New, you can add colors to the palette by clicking on the plus sign. You can add your color codes to select your branding colors as well. Next, scroll down and select your fonts. When selecting fonts, it's wise to add a non-serif font, a cursive font, and then a serif font, so they can appear consistent throughout your print and online media. When selecting your fonts, think about your audience. Pick professional and easy-to-read fonts. Your brand kit options will now be saved so that you can bring them easily into your templates when you use them. To return to the home page, click on the Canva logo in the top left-hand corner. Once you've logged into Canva, select Templates from the left-hand side of the screen. Here you can see a myriad of pre-made templates that can be customized with your own branding. At the top of the screen, you can enter in the search parameters that you would like to see. In this instance, we have used the search terms real estate Instagram post, which gives us hundreds of post templates. Please note that the text on these can all be changed and customized to what you want, so you can use them as a jumping-off point and tailor them to the information and imagery you want to display. In the search field, I'm going to add +why work with a realtor to the search term so that the templates that appear are more specifically geared to a post for people to meet me as an agent. You can scroll through and select the posts that you prefer. Once you select the template, you can then select Customize this template. Once you are in the template, you have menu options down the left-hand side. We are going to select Brand Hub, which has our branded materials all together in one location. Select the drop-down that says Brand Kit and a prompt will appear and you can scroll to the brand kit that you want to use and select it. We are using the Alex AI brand kit. On the template, every item, whether it be text or image, is its own layer. When you right-click on an item, with your mouse, a pop-up menu appears with a plus sign icon, a garbage can, and 3 dots. The garbage can deletes the item. I've deleted the template logo and will add my own. Double-click on the logo in your brand kit on the left-hand side. It will be added to the template. To resize it, right-click on the logo once, which will highlight that layer with the purple box. I can resize it by clicking on and dragging the white circles in the corners of the purple square. Next, I want to change the contact information on this post. When you click on a text box, you'll see the name of the font that is being used in the top menu bar. Here it's Meadowtowne. We need to add our brand font, so on the left side in our brand kit, we can see what fonts we should use. So to change the contact information, I'm going to click on the text box so that it is highlighted, then select the text menu drop-down where it says Meadowtowne, and in the text search, I'm going to type in Garrett. Select the font you want, and the font will change in the text box you've highlighted. We are going to change out another font. I've clicked on Contact. I want to use the bitter font from my brand kit. I highlight the text and then select the drop-down from the font field on the top menu bar. Then, in the search field, I've typed in bitter and select it. This modifies the font for the word contact, and I will do the exact same thing with the word about. I select the text, I select the font drop-down, I select bitter font and it modifies it. Now I want to use the ISOM script font from my brand kit. Where it has the realtor's name, I change it to Alex AI, select the text box, select the font drop-down, type in ISOM script and it modifies it. To resize the text, click to highlight and drag the white circle to make it bigger or smaller. If I want to change the colors of the entire template but still stick within my branding, you can select Shuffle that is located on the brand kit color bar and it will switch your color options around on the template. I can also select a particular image, like the paint swatch on this template, and then click on the small box of color in the top menu bar that will open up your color options and give you hundreds of options, but it also will have your brand kit in the drop-down menu so you can choose the specific brand color that you want to use. I'm using the light gray. I then want to swap out the profile pic and add my own, so I have selected the profile picture on the template and hit the garbage can. Another way you can delete an image is highlighting it and hit backspace on your keyboard. I've selected my own profile pic from the brand kit by double-clicking on it. If I highlight it, I can change the size of the image or move it around. When you select an image like a photo or other image or text box, you resize it by highlighting whatever layer you want and then clicking and dragging the circle in the corner. To crop an image, so that a part of it is cut off, you can highlight it and use the small white rectangles. You click on them and drag up or down or in and out. They are what you see on the sides of the purple rectangle when you highlight the item. Now I want to change the color of the text. I'm selecting each text box. On the top menu you'll see the letter A with a small rectangle under it. When you click on this, the color drop-down appears and you can select the color, and you'll also see your brand kit within the color menu drop-down as well. Other things to note when you are in Canva. At the top right-hand side, you can change the name of the post. If you are scheduling several posts, dating and naming the posts is wise. Another thing you can do is add a page, or you can duplicate a page, if you wanted to make a similar post. You can duplicate a page by clicking on the page and plus sign icon located at the top corner of the template. You can change out the images by keeping some elements and adding new ones. We will go into adding other images later on. If you add something to the page you're not happy with, you can easily correct a mistake by undoing it. The undo and redo arrows are located at the top menu bar on the left-hand side. These arrows will take you one step back or one step forward with any changes you have made. I'm going to go back to our initial page. Now to save the work you've done and download this post so that you can upload it to your social media streams, click on File at the top left corner and click Save. Click on File again. You can then click on Download, and this will give you different format options that you can save the file as. For Instagram and Facebook posts that do not have any video component to it, a PNG file is recommended. On the list, it gives you recommendations of what format to download. In this instance, we will be downloading a PNG. Another option that Canva offers is the ability to resize your post. Click on Resize, which is located at the top left side beside File. When you select Resize, you can enter in a custom height and width at the top of the menu. Then you can select the drop-down where it says px and choose whether your dimensions are by pixel, inches, millimeters, or centimeters. As you scroll down, different templated size options for YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, etc. are available. In this case, I want to resize this post to a Facebook post. So once I choose Facebook post, I can either choose Resize, which will resize the file you are currently working in, or you can choose to copy and resize, which will keep the current file as the original Instagram size and automatically save it. From there, it copies the text and imagery from that post into a new file that is sized for Facebook. You will likely need to adjust the sizing of the image and text elements, but you've just copied that exact Instagram post into a Facebook post easily. Once you click on Copy and Resize, a new tab will open and you'll be moved immediately into the new tab with the Facebook size post, but your original post will remain open in another tab. You will likely have to move and tweak a few things to fill in the size of the Facebook post. In the file name, you can rename the file so it is differentiated between the Instagram and Facebook posts once downloaded. You can then save your post and download it. Let's go to our home screen. We are going to make a reel. Now this reel can be used in Instagram, in Facebook Stories, as well as YouTube Shorts. Using these short videos is a great tool that spreads you across 3 platforms and you only have to make it once. Select Templates. At the top search field, you're going to input Instagram Reel, plus Interior Design as your search. Once the templates come up, you can scroll through and pick the option that you want. If you hover over the bottom of the templates, the ones that have a play icon are videos, and hovering over them will show you how long they are. Select the template you want. Then, select Customize this template. Once you're in the template, I'm going to change the wording here and just type modern interiors. You can change the line spacing and letter spacing from the spacing icon in the menu above. I'm going to change my font to the Garrett font from my brand kit. Next, I'm changing the background color to a brand color, adding my logo and changing my contact info at the bottom as well. As videos, you can click on the video and can see on the above menu line, there are video options that appear when the clip is highlighted. If you select the time of the video, in this case, the 9.9 seconds, it will take you to a video crop tool, where you can adjust the length of the video clip. If you have two videos on one reel, they should be the same length. To add music, scroll down the left side menu and select the audio. You can search for a specific genre for your video. Corporate upbeat is what I've chosen. By clicking on the play icon on the options, you can hear a music clip of the song. By double-clicking on it, the audio clip will be added to the video. It shows up under the video clip. If you click on the audio clip to highlight it, you can make adjustments to the volume or modify it. Select Audio Effects. You can add a fade in and add a fade out to your music. If you select the play icon in the top right-hand corner, you can see a preview of your finished product. Your video is now ready to be downloaded. When you download it, you need to ensure it is downloaded as an MP4 file, as this is the video file format required to ensure the video clips play for Facebook Stories, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. Now, I'm going to show you how to create your own design. Select Create a Design, located at the top right-hand corner. The drop-down will appear and you can start a brand new blank canvas by clicking on Custom Size on the bottom left-hand corner of the drop-down. Enter the size that you want to create. I want to make a thumbnail for our reel, so I've entered 1080 by 1920 pixels. Then select Create New Design. So, once you're in your blank canvas, let's quickly add a file name, where it says Untitled Design, just a little on the right at the top of the screen. If you want to add items or text to your canvas, the place to start is selecting Elements on the left side menu. In Elements, there are shapes, stickers, graphics, photos, other options. I've selected a square. You can move it around, you can resize it, you can duplicate it. By selecting See All in the Elements menu, it shows you all the shapes available. On your canvas, if you highlight the shape by clicking on it, you can change the color of it by selecting the color square above. I'm going to delete these. I can do this by just selecting the shape and dragging them off the page, or clicking on the garbage can icon. In the Elements menu, select Back, and it will take you to all the options again. I've selected See All. In the Graphics menu, you'll see that there are images, gradients, stickers, all different things to add eye-catching details to your social media. You can search for whatever image you need. I've typed in house. There are tons of stock graphics available. There are icons, illustrations, simple or more detailed options. If you select an icon, you can change some of them by clicking on the image once it's on the canvas and then selecting the color block on the top menu and choosing the color you want to change it to. select the back arrow, now scroll down to Photos. In the top search field, type in the image you're looking for, in this case, interior home. You can scroll through options. I'm going to add modern to my search field to widen my search for a great photo. I click on the photo to add it to my canvas. I now click the photo that has been added to the canvas to highlight it, and then I can resize it. And now I have a background. In the Elements menu, if you scroll down, you'll see the Frames option. These are picture frames that you can drag and drop an image into, and it will take on the shape of the frame you've chosen. Simply select a frame shape, then go to photos you have uploaded or a stock image you want to use. Then, drag the image into the frame on your canvas and it will frame the image. These are a great way to add creativity to a design instead of just having a square photo all of the time. You can have a simple background color with a very creative shaped frame. There are many frame options, so be creative and make your social media posts stand out. One last thing about the Elements menu. If you have added a design to a file and deleted it, or want to use an element you used recently, at the top of the options, there is a recently used section and you can scroll through and see shapes, photos or graphics you have previously used in your designs, which comes in handy. So, back to designing. I'm clicking on the photo I want to use and making it my background. I am going to add a shape that will be a background for my text. I'm going back to the shapes in the element menu and selecting a square. Then, I resize it into a rectangle. To change the color, I'm selecting the color square on the top menu. Our brand kit is not on the palette, so I'm going to go to Brand Hub on the left-hand side. And then, select the brand kit that I want to use, which is Alex AI. Now when I go back to the color block, you'll see my branding colors have been added to the color palette. I select the color that I want. Now, I want to change the transparency of this shape. So I'm going to select the 3 dots on the left side and then select the transparency icon, and I can change the opacity of the shape. Now, it's time to add text to our canvas. To add a text box that has our branded font, I'm going to click on Garrett from my font list, which is in the Brand Hub. The text box is added, and now I can add my text. I've typed Modern Interiors. I'm going to resize it so it fits in the background shape. Now I want to change the line spacing of the font, so I've selected the spacing icon above, and now I can change the spacing by moving the tab up or down. Now, I'm going to add my logo, which is in the brand kit, on the left. I select the logo. It's added to our canvas. I click on it to highlight it and then can resize it and move it into place on my canvas. Now, we are done. It's a simple, branded thumbnail. I go to File, at the top, on the left-hand side, and then I select Save. Then, I select File again, then I'm selecting Download. With an image file, I want to download this as a PNG. Now, one last thing. If you want to share this design with someone on your team, you can select Share in the top right-hand corner of the screen. You can type in their email address and press Enter. It will send them invite to accept. Or, you can select Share and then select Copy Link. This copies the link for this specific canvas. You can paste the link in an email and then email it to someone if you want them to see it or approve it, etc. Good luck and be creative.
Some other things you can do in Canva, you can add music. The collection in Instagram is better. Music's a great piece for engagement, particularly dependent on your demographic, right? So hit tunes that are going to result, that are going to resonate, with your audience, depending on that age group. Those can help to get a lot of engagement and get more notice for your posts. That said, watch your audience though, because I know some people, particularly as you get into the older generations, they'll actually keep scrolling past if there's music. So again, it's a try it and see what works with your audience. Naming graphics and videos, everything is really easy to find in Canva. It uses a file structure just like Windows, something we're very familiar with. So you can have folders, you can organize your posts by month. You know, I've got social posts folder, and then I have June, and now I've created all my content and I've left it in there.
So if you leave it.
Calls to action. So these are things like putting a button on your Facebook post. When you make a post, you'll see periodically it'll come up and say there's like a message me, call me. These things are great to use sometimes, not all the time. We don't want to overuse them. It becomes too salesy. But you definitely should. You should have a call to action, you know, end of your YouTube videos with the animated arrow. Subscribe to our channel for more information. That's a good one to use consistently. Periodically on your other posts, give us a call if you want to book a showing for this house. So use them, but use them in moderation. Okay, so planning and repurposing. Someone asked me a really good question last week about finding their voice in social media. So there's some basic steps that we follow that really, and it's those planning pieces that help us with this. So what is my brand identity? What are my values? What is unique about me? And figuring out how to frame those things to deliver consistent messaging, right? And part of consistent messaging is using similar wording, similar graphics, similar fonts, making sure your branding is there. You want to be reliable. You want people to know what to expect from you when they're looking at your posts online, so that it has that cohesiveness that builds trust and builds relationships. So there's some tips here for for finding your voice. We've included some planning documents. So there's a Google spreadsheet there that you guys can go and download. You can use that for planning out some of your content for a week, a month, however long you want to take it. There's also a bit of a questionnaire there for finding your voice. So helping identify what those things are, what that consistent messaging is that you want to deliver. So the second part of that, and this one's a little trickier, is finding that unique voice for a team or an agent that you work with. And the biggest part of this is ensuring that the time is spent with whoever's managing your social media to help them find that voice with you. So they need to be very clear in their understanding on your values, your messaging. You know, one of the things that planning helps out with a lot, and agents, please keep this in mind if you're working with anybody on your social media, taking the time to seek your input is what is going to generate your voice. Okay, so the planning is on your social media manager to have that stuff ready and to give you some time to go over it. It's important that you do go over it and that you do provide information so that they know what they're doing going forward. Sharing information too. When you see something that you like, send it to them. Quick screenshot, share it on Instagram. Hey, I like this. Can we do something like this? Maybe a piece of news has come out and you want to email that over to them and say, hey, can you draft something about this? Here's the context, I want to say this. So having those interactions with that person, at least until they become established and comfortable enough representing you online, are critical. So much of the same that we've just talked about, defining your goals, considering your audience when you're putting content together. It's really important to remember who is receiving this content. Who are these people? And what are their interests, right? What other things outside of the direct information you want to share actually interest those people? So things like music. What music are you into? All of that can help you there. Be flexible with this. Things change. They change a lot online. So try not to be married to anything. Try to leave yourself time. If you see something's been working and all of a sudden it doesn't, that's okay. Do it differently. Do something else. You know, these things change in real time, and we adapt with them. It's part of the fun. Some additional resources for planning. These are some calendar references that will give you all the important days in the year. It's really hard to find one comprehensive calendar that's got all of the holidays and all of the social days and that covers off all of Canada. So these two combined do a pretty good job. And that link to Hootsuite there offers two things. If you scroll down on the page, you'll see that there's a very long list of dates broken down. It also has a Google Calendar layout that with a button click, you can add to your Google Calendar. So we do this in marketing. We use a Google Calendar in order to anticipate the days and schedule out our posts. Really helpful tools. Repurposing content. So we talked a little bit about the point of this earlier. People take in information differently. Some of us are better at reading text. Some of us need to hear it. Some of us need to see it. Some of us need to see it in motion, which is why we do things like text posts, graphic posts, video posts. Doing all of those things and changing them slightly to fit on different platforms is going to appeal to more people. It also helps to reinforce the messaging that you're putting out there. So I'm going to take you through just a quick example. Let's say you make a video walkthrough tour of a property that you're promoting. You would take that full-length video, 5 to 7 minutes, and you would post it on YouTube. Set up all your tags, your SEO, the descriptions. Then you're going to trim out 60 seconds of that to make a YouTube short and use it almost as a trailer. It's a promotional soundbite. You can then take that and you can add it to your reel on Instagram. If there's a particular 15 seconds in that 60 that looks great, add it to your story. Then you're going to take a link to that YouTube video. You're going to copy and paste it on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Done. You've posted it everywhere. One piece of content. If you want to take that a step further and you've got a website that you blog on, there are a ton of apps online that will transcribe the text from your video. Run it through the transcription, use that as a blog post. You're going to put this on your website. In that post, you're going to link to your full-length YouTube video to keep pushing traffic back to it. And now you're going to take that link to the blog, and a couple of days later, you're going to post that on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. So you've actually used one piece of content here, and you've posted it on all of your accounts twice. Okay, so when we say posting every day, this is not meant to be overwhelming. This is meant to, this is where we plan things out and we extend the use as much as we can. Make sense? So audience building and engagement, you'll find that a lot of these things they require similar tasks. So the things that will bring an audience to you will also keep them engaged. And on the next set of slides, what we've got are some suggestions and some tactics you can use in order to build up these different platforms that we've been talking about. Facebook. I'll leave these here for you guys to come back to. So if you're thinking about audience building, these slides will be there for you, and you can sort of check off the boxes that you want to here. Building, much the same. Some of these platforms we've listed here, they've got specific functionality that's unique to them that are things you can try out if you want to continue to build the network out. So the most important things in all of this, and the things that are going to get you the biggest return all around, are putting out informative and entertaining content that people like or find useful, interacting with people, not just, and putting out your interactions, not just seeking theirs. So looking for them, leaving them a question, a comment, a like, a follow, start to have those conversations. That's going to generate a lot of returns for you, particularly in a platform like Instagram. Instagram is really easy to build a following on because the etiquette is so clear. You follow me, I follow you. That's just how it goes. So typically, if I put out 4 posts in a day and you're following me, typically you're not going to see all 4, right? You'll see 1 or 2 of them throughout the day. But what keeps me relevant to Instagram so that it shows you any of my posts is that I'm doing it continuously. I would also agree with you that it shouldn't be the same thing. So 4 posts is a lot. If we've put out a story, a reel, and a post, there's some differentiation there. And listen, with the guidelines, like I said, they're guidelines, right? So the one rule of thumb that you should follow is post daily on those major accounts, okay? There is a quick point I wanted to make here, and I'm using Pinder as the example because he does a great job of this. One of the things he does, and Netflix is famous for this, same piece of content, this is the same listing, this is the same home, but he's changed the graphics here. So these look like 2 different listings. They give the appearance of a higher volume, and it is a great strategy for catching people's attention, and they just see that you're listing property after property after property after property. Really, the only thing that has changed here is we're using a different image of this home. So you'll notice on Netflix these days, you'll watch a show, and you're familiar with the cover photo for that show, and 3 weeks later, it's changed, and you're clicking on it again, and it starts playing, and you go, wait, I already saw this. It's because they changed up that cover image, and it caught your attention again. Some post engagement ideas. These are some ideas of templates that you would find in Canva. These are the kind of things where you're asking for a question or soliciting an opinion, and it encourages the people in your audience to answer. We've got some cheat sheets here for you. So again, these are frameworks. Find the pieces of these things that are going to work from you. Following these steps will help with building up your content, building up your following, establishing engagement, okay? Start small, start with the bits and pieces that work for you. And then, the other thing to consider that we haven't touched on is the analytics. You'll see really quick and simple analytics pop up on some of your posts. Keep an eye on those things to gauge sort of what you're doing that's working out well. This is the timing cheat sheet and sizing cheat sheet. Okay, so if you're using Canva, it has the sizes built in. If for any reason you need to reference the specific sizing for any type of material on any platform, we've got all that information here for you.